Welcome parents to the Parent Pad Holding Workshop. We decided to do this workshop as a pre-recorded video so that you could watch it over and over again. So let's talk about how to hold pads. I've got my daughter Kinsey with me. She's going to be hitting the pads. But first thing I want to talk about, there's different pads that we use. We're going to start off with these focus mitts. Now if you have these focus mitts, they're pretty awesome, okay? Because you put your hands in here and you can hold them up for punches. Now I'm gonna kind of just hands up, I guess, for a little bit. Show you how we hold, okay? It's kind of like you're giving high fives. So when you hold pads, you don't want to hold way out here, okay? A common mistake is people hold way out here and they leave their arms there. So if Kinsey was hitting like jab cross, she's laughing because it feels funny. No one's head is this big. Some people's heads may be this big, but we want to make sure the head's here. So we may start with the hands out, but every time she hits, I'm going to meet the hand, okay, so that there's a little resistance. So when she throws a jab or a cross, we always do what we call, stand in the middle here, cross fire, okay? So instead of just punching straight like this where there's a hole in the middle, she's going to cross the middle, right? So do that again. So cross and cross. So now when I'm holding for her, same thing, if she throws a jab, okay, jab, notice how I'm meeting her with the jab. Jab, cross, cross, cross. Good. So there's a little bit of like, I don't know, high five, like I said before, okay? What you don't want to do is just hold the hand still. Jab, cross, jab, cross. That's okay, beginner level, you'll see this a lot, especially once you start getting good at holding pads. As parents for your kids, you'll see like, on TV and stuff, you'll know when someone doesn't know what they're doing. So you want to meet them with the pads, okay? So it's really simple when we're doing the straight punches like jab and cross. But what about when we're throwing punches like the hook? Well, think of the nature of a hook. The hook comes this way, right? Usually with the lead arm. So I'm just going to mimic the same motion with the pad. I'm going to hold it, instead of holding here, I'm going to hold to the side. So she does a hook, okay? And I just kind of meet her, hook. And when you have someone who throws punches really hard, you want to, this is another reason why you want to meet them with the target, because if you don't, it's going to hurt your shoulder hard. Hard. Oh, it's going to throw the arm out, okay? So now let's look when we throw some doubles together. Jab cross, cross hook, hook cross. Okay, we'll switch sides. Now, some numbers. So these are basic numbers that your child will know from class, and then you should also know from holding. So 3, 3, and 3. So I'm just holding here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right? Now, if you're doing this for the fitness challenge, at the belt test, the only thing they have to do is jab cross for 1 minute. So if we're doing jab cross for 1 minute, you're just going to keep a pace like this. So let's do like just a few. Keep going. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You keep that rhythm, okay? Common mistakes, again. This is what happens. As they hit it, your arms start going back. So it looks like this. Okay? Or they hold too low, or sometimes too high. She's closer to my height than she was a year ago, but like if your child's down here, get down on your knees. I don't want to hold the targets up here, okay? So I want to get down maybe on their level and hold this way. Okay? So that's if you have these mitts. Let's say you don't have those mitts, but you have the hand targets. It's the same thing. You just slide your hands through, hold them, okay? And now you hold them up like this. Instead of like this with your hand, it's kind of hitting more on the forearm, but it's the same thing. Jab, jab, cross, cross, hook, hook, jab, cross, cross, hook, hook, cross, jab, cross, hook. Okay? So essentially, when you're holding targets, you're doing the same combination. Her jab is my jab. Her cross is my cross. Her hook is my hook. We kind of do the same thing. Jab, cross, hook. You see? So these are awesome. Not quite as good as the pads, like the focus mitts, but they're great because they're kind of more versatile. So you can do kicks with them. Fighting stance, front leg round kick. Okay? So when we're doing round kick, let's talk about that for a second. Okay? Common mistake on round kick. Well, common mistake is you hold it wrong. Okay? But think about what a round kick is. Her target is right here on my stomach, so don't kick yet. But if I'm right here, just place the foot there so they can see. Okay, but like chamber. Boom, that's it, right? Again. So naturally, I gotta hold the target in the same spot. Okay? And sideways, not this way, right? Down, that's not gonna hit, right? It's gonna hit my hand. Now, if she's doing a snap kick that comes straight up, then I would hold here, right? Back leg snap kick. If she's doing a back leg round kick, I don't wanna hold here, I wanna hold like this. Okay? So just like this, just mimicking someone's torso as they hit. Another common mistake is that instead of mimicking the torso like this, hold the target off to the side or in like this or weird angles. And that's just an experience thing, I get it. Here, let's go to the other side. But you just gotta practice at it, okay? Just like if we had, you know, one of the bags here, just like this, okay? I would be hitting the side, and that's what we do on round kick. So now when we put combinations, let's say if we go jab, cross, round kick. We're gonna go jab, cross, front leg, round kick. Jab, cross, see how? Jab, cross, jab, cross. You see? The arms are shorter than the legs. So when I'm holding, just fighting stance there, don't move. I'm holding the mitts here for the punches, but when she goes to kick, I've got to put my target back a little bit. Because the punch, 1, 2, is here, the kick is there. All right, so this is during the fit test. So you definitely need to know how to hold targets for that and just be aware. And the main thing is you got to practice. You got to practice. Don't just, well, it's time to hold some mitts for the belt test and, well, never done it before, let's try. Don't do that. You got to practice, right? And the more you practice, the more you're building that special bond with your son or daughter, right? And that's important. Now, let's switch sides for a second. Continuing to use these, you can use them for blocks. So she can shield block, right? Shield block on either side or to the body. Ooh, gotcha on that one. Bend your knees a little bit more. Shield, 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 shield. She can fire back punches, okay? And there's a rhythm that you can get with that as well. Back leg round kick. Okay, wow, that was really hard. So you got all those. And that's what we do with the square hand targets. The other type of targets that you may have is what we call the MMA pads or the Thai pads. They're very similar to the square targets, except it's a wider surface, a longer surface. You're holding here and you're making contact more with the forearm. But it would look the same. Let's do a jab, kind of meeting her, jab, cross, hook, right? Jab, cross, hook, right? The only difference is when we do round kicks, we can hold this way. So this is more for what we call MMA style round kicks, okay? Lesson number 4, all right, in your video series. So you're hitting with the shin, hard pivot, so I hold this way. Now notice, just like a body, except I'm not straight up, I'm kind of leaning a little bit because we want the kick to kind of come almost in a diagonal direction. So round kick, good. Round kick, and then swing that arm back. Round kick. Sorry, coaching me is always coaching something, right? So again, now if I'm using Thai pads and that's all I have for, let's say, jab, cross, round kick, like the fit test, it would look something like this. Let's switch sides. So we go jab, cross, round, front leg, pop, just boom. There you go. Jab, cross, round. Because they're hitting with the shin, I don't need to be as far away because the shin and the hand are about the same distance. If she can throw a cross from here, just hold it, then the kick's gonna be right here as well. You see? So jab, cross, kick. All right? So not everybody has these, but if you do, there's different ways that you hold. All right, next up, we're gonna talk about the paddle targets. Okay, paddle targets, one of my favorite, okay? You can do everything that you can do on the other targets with the paddle targets and a lot more. So let's talk about how we hold them. Different ways for different techniques, okay? If we're just punching, we're just gonna hold them up like this. And we're gonna use them kind of like fly swatters, okay? So fighting stance, jab, jab, cross, cross, hook, hook, jab, cross, cross, hook, hook, cross, and jab, cross, hook, shield, shield, cross, hook. Okay, so I'm just pop, pop, pop. Again, straight, jab, cross, hooks from the side. The difference with this is there's not as much resistance, right? So in the other pad, she's kind of hitting my hand, so it feels like she's hitting something solid. With these, there's not as much resistance, and that's good, and there's pros and cons to both of those things. But when we get into the kicks, fighting stance, front leg round kick. Front leg round kick. Hit the target. There you go. You gotta make that pop. What I love about these is if you hit them right, it's gonna make that loud pop. If you don't, you're gonna get a muffled sound. But let's talk about holding for round kick. You don't want to hold now. You don't want to hold quite straight up. You want to turn it in a little bit. The laces face the person who's kicking. So if you're kicking at me, I'm holding like this. Common mistakes: holding it at different angles, odd angles, different over here, down. Okay, so it's just straight on, a slight turn, just a diagonal turn, a little bit of a 45-degree angle, because that's the angle of the kick. Fighting stance, round kick, good, round kick, good. Stand right here, kind of diagonal, fighting stance, round kick, good. See, the angle, round kick. If I don't hold this angle, and I hold it here, she can still kick it, but it's gonna feel weird. It's not gonna get the same sound, it's gonna feel weird, and of course, yeah, good. Of course, but I said if I hold it like this, she doesn't even want to kick it because she's going to hit the laces. It's going to hurt her, okay? Another common mistake, people hold it straight out. So if I hold it straight out, go ahead, kick hard. Okay, it's going to hurt my arm. It's going to hurt my elbow, give me a little tennis elbow, wrist, shoulder. By holding it here, she almost has to kick over my hand. Round kick over my hand. Yeah, that's what's happening. Round kick. Good. So let's come over here. So if we're doing something like a fit test, jab, cross, round kick. Go ahead. Jab, cross, round kick, front leg. Yeah. Jab, cross, round. Same thing. I'm close, far away. Close, far away. Go ahead. Good. And through time, with practice, you'll develop the reflexes. Now, as we get into other kicks and techniques, you know, let's say she's doing an axe kick. I'm going to hold the target like this. And this isn't super common, but if you're working on, let's say you're working on your tutorial videos and you're going through the lessons, all of this will be explained on the lesson. But let's just say she's doing an axe kick. Good, you hold it just like this, okay, because there's an angle to it. So not like that and not straight like this, but a little bit of a, again, like a 45-degree angle for the axe kick, okay? And then spinning hook kicks and round kicks, kind of all the same thing. Like let's say, let's go round kick, back leg, round kick. Just round kick.
Oh, to the target?
Yeah, to the target. There you go. And then spinning hook kick. Okay, you're just holding it straight up. Only time you kind of turn it in is when they're going to do the round kick to the body. Body kick. If she's going to the head, I don't need to turn it in because the nature of the kick, we're turning the hip over, so you can just hold it straight. Okay, and the same thing for like spinning hook kicks. Her favorite. That was a good kick. All right, so I hope that helps, guys. We've got the basic targets, the mitts, focus mitts, hand targets, the MMA shields, and we call these kick paddles. The kick paddles or paddle targets because you don't have to just kick with them. And they're all versatile. So if you only have one kind, there you go. You can use them a lot of different ways. Now, if you only have the mitts, it's a little harder to do things like spinning hook kick. Go ahead. I mean, you can do it, but it's going to put more of a strain on your shoulder, especially when people start kicking harder. So that's why a lot of times we'll use the paddle targets. But I mean, it can be done. And if your kid's not that big, then it's okay. Right, Kinsey?
Right.
All right. Hope that covered everything. That's everything I can think of. Go ahead and watch the video again if you need to. But the main thing is practice, practice, practice. Develop the reflexes as a target holder, okay? And again, it's a great bonding experience, you and your child. And you can start to help them out. And you know, one of the best ways to improve in martial arts is to have a good pad holder. To just do pad holding sessions for 3 minutes at a time, maybe a couple, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 rounds. And man, that's a fantastic way to develop reflexes and to get really good and really sharp. Okay, so that's it, guys. Parent pad holding seminar workshop. Watch it as many times as you need to. I think I said that 5 times now. All right, guys, see you later. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.